It is the waning hour before dawn, and the wind that sweeps across the elder fields carries the cold scent of rain and iron. Thousands of moon elves stand in uneasy silence along the pale ridges overlooking some nameless field. Their armor is the color of a springtime meadow, of the eaves of Gladden, and their cloaks are a midnight black, their banners hanging heavy in the still air, a silver moon and 3 stars against a black field. Between the distant hills, their army stares and watches as an army just like theirs take position across a strip of grass and sand and rocks that, by sunset, will be soaked red with blood. To the east stand the forces of the city of Hillmallow, rebels. They are warriors sworn to hire Dorwyn Dawnrider and the Blademaster turned rebel, Rolin of Tree Waterdance. Their ranks are thick with elves who once served the very throne they now oppose. Their enemy, Crescents of Low Villa, represent that same throne, and their commander is the famed Lardian Truestone, a Blademaster. Many among the gathered hosts had once called each other brothers. They had trained in the same halls, worshipped beneath the same temples, and sworn their lives to the same divine cause. But now they stand divided, because in Alepion, the throne of the Elder has become a source not of unity, but of suspicion. And the elf who does now sit upon that throne has become the most controversial figure the realm has known in generations. His name is Elder Ghana Haydenmoon, and because of him, the conflict that will soon be known as the Dawnrider Uprising will echo through the pages to come and shape the course of the Alepion realm forever. It is at this point that I turn to this video's sponsor. If you like this video, are a fan of high fantasy, then jump on this giveaway. I am giving away the first 5 short stories of my Sun, Moon, Sand, and Star series. To get your 5 free books, hit the link in the description. Download Upon the Sands, book 1 of my epic fantasy series, A Symphony of Shadow and Darkness. And in the comments of this video, demand your 5 free books as rudely as possible. Once you've gotten Upon the Sands and have demanded your 5 free books in the comments, I will send them to you as soon as possible. Now, back to the lore. When Ghana Haydenmoon rose to become the Elder of Alepion in the year 2987 AL, his ascension was met with celebration from some and quiet unease from others. The Lady of the Moon, Renala, had embraced him, captivated by his voice, some would say, bewitched, tricked would others speculate. For many, the fact that he was chosen by Renala should have been enough. Yet among the people of Lovilla, whispers began to spread. Unlike previous elders, Ghana was rarely seen walking the streets of the city. He seldom appeared among the small folk, and when he did, his presence stirred unease. The High Record preserves several troubling accounts from this time. More than once, as Ghana passed through the markets or narrow streets, voices rose from the crowds. Not cheers, but accusations. "Free her!" they cried. "Free her, stranger!" some cursed. The meaning behind these cries has long been debated by historians. Some believe the insults implied that Renala, the Lady of the Moon, had somehow been taken captive by Ghana's influence. For he was a singer, was an elf with a gilded tongue, and had a way with words that those at court could not deny. Others believed the cries were simply the venom of a restless populace, suspicious of a ruler they did not yet understand. For Ghana was a native of the island of Garth, was no true-born moon elf of Alepion, and until him, there'd never been a non-moon elf on the throne. Whatever their origin, the insults left their mark, and they deepened the rift between Ghana and many of the powerful figures within Alepion. Among the most strained relationships was that between the Elder and Lardian Truestone. Lardian was known across the realm as an elf of blunt honesty. He spoke his mind freely and rarely softened his opinions. Though loyal to the throne, Lardian made little effort to hide his discomfort with Ghana's rule. Their conversations were said to be cold, even confrontational. But if Lardian was wary of Ghana, others were far more openly hostile. One such elf was the Blademaster Rolin Waterdance. A warrior of immense skill and bearing, Rolin commanded great respect among the people. Eventually, he would grow increasingly bitter following one of Garner's earliest decisions as elder, the disinheritance of Dryden Rainflower from the position of higher heart. To many, this decision seemed abrupt, to others, unjust, and among those who were also angered by it was Higher Dorwin Dawnrider of the city of Hillmallow. Dorwin believed Ganna's rule would become unpredictable and dangerous. He feared that the future of Alepion would be shaped not by wisdom or faith, but by the moods and personal preferences of its elder. And so Dorwin began to search for allies. Dorwin's greatest success came when he reached out to Blademaster Rolin Waterdance. Their discussions were secret, but their intentions were clear. Dorwin argued that Ganna was no true believer of Adonai, the Whispering God, the divine power revered across Alepion. If Ganna truly lacked faith, then the throne itself had become compromised. And if the throne was compromised, then it was the duty of loyal servants to correct it. Rolin hesitated. For all his anger, he understood the weight of rebellion. To rise against the elder was to challenge the very foundation of the realm. But Dorwin continued pressing the matter. Eventually, another powerful voice joined the conspiracy. Higher Flanger Rainflower, son of the deposed Higher Dryden Rainflower, would write to Rolin. By your blade, Blademaster, your will be done. Rolin Waterdance, a representative of Adonai, the Whispering God, do not fret, but do decide on which path you wish to take, for as surely as Adonai does reign, he will be with you. The decision was made. In the year 2989 AL, just 2 years after the coronation of Elder Ganna Haydenmoon and the Lady of the Moon, Renala Lo Villa Rareshade, the uprising would begin. But before committing fully to the rebellion, Rolin made one final attempt to gain another ally. He met with Lardian Truestone. There, he presented his suspicions about Ganna. He spoke of rumors, of doubts, of the belief that Ganna was no servant of Adonai. But Lardian refused to join Rolin. His answer was simple. To betray Ganna is to betray Renala. Then he added words that would echo through the years that followed. She is my love, brother, and my love she will remain. For Lardian, loyalty to Renala outweighed every other concern, and so he refused to join the rebellion. When Rolin departed Lovilla, Ganna soon learned of the conspiracy. His reaction was immediate and furious. He confronted Lardian, demanding to know why the Blademaster had been allowed to leave the city. Lardian's answer was calm but defiant. You would ask me to betray my brother? Ganna's response came like a blade. I would ask you not to betray your elder. According to Lardian's later testimony, Ganna threatened to imprison him for withholding this information. Yet the situation within the city was already volatile. Many among the small folk viewed Rolin's rebellion with sympathy. Arresting Lardian might have sparked further unrest. So Ganna chose another path. He ordered Lardian to address the people and publicly condemn the uprising. Lardian refused. He would not speak words he did not believe. Weeks passed. The tension within Alepion grew heavier with each passing day. Then, at last, Renala herself approached Lardian. The Lady of the Moon was said to have been in tears. She begged him to speak against the rebellion, to protect the realm from civil war, and this time, Lardian agreed. Not for Ganna, but for her. Yet even as Lardian prepared to speak, events were already moving toward violence. Ganna had begun gathering his forces. The crescents of Low Villa were summoned. Their destination would be the open plains known as the Elder Fields. There they would confront the rising armies of Hillmallow. As the forces of Alepion assembled, Lardian made a decision that surprised many. He would lead Ganna's army himself. Yet before marching, he sent word to the leaders of the rebellion, to Rolin, to Dorwin Dawnrider, to Flangar Rainflower. His message was simple. He did not wish to fight them, but for Renala and the love he bore her, he would do so without hesitation. None of them replied. When the armies of Hillmallow and Lowvilla finally met, the sky above the Elder Fields was heavy with gathering clouds, and neighboring glades barred their gates and began to pray. The rebels waited along the slopes of a high hill. Their numbers were strong, their confidence greater still, and at the front of their line stood Blademaster Rolin Waterdance. He had been waiting for one elf, Lardian Truestone. When the two finally came face to face, Rolin spoke first. "You love our blind Lady of the Moon more than you do the Whispering God." Lardian's answer was quiet. "If we truly loved Adonai, brother, we would have sought him to judge the elder. Instead, we have judged him ourselves." The battle that followed raged for 9 brutal hours. The high record claims that throughout the fighting, Lardian's battle cry carried above the roar of combat. Not the name of Ghana, not the name of Alepion, but the name of Renala, again and again. At last, near the end of the battle, Lardian and Rolin found each other, the tide of combat bringing them together. They met along the crest of a steep hill overlooking the carnage below. Two brothers, two masters of the blade. Their duel was swift and terrible. Neither Blademaster hesitated, neither held back. But in the end, Lardian struck the final blow. Rolin fell, and with tears in his eyes, Lardian drove his moonshine blade into the Blademaster's exposed neck. When the rebel warriors saw their Blademaster fall, their resolve shattered. Weapons dropped, banners lowered. The Dawnrider Uprising was over. In honor of the victory, the Elder Fields were given a new name. A name that would be remembered long after the blood had faded from the grass. The Fields of Hayden Moon. Lardian's victory was complete, but it had come at great cost. Alepion had lost a Blademaster, a representative of Adonai's favor over the Moon Elf people, a Blademaster that had otherwise not needed to die, if not for Elder Ghana. Lardian would resent the Elder for this for the rest of his life. Later, elves would remember the Dawnrider Uprising, and it would be foretold that one day, something similar would happen again. In the same place that Lardian and Rolin fought, two dark Blademasters who were once brothers would face off against each other. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe. And if you're looking for your next fantasy read, get my books today and visit the Alepion realm yourself. Hit the link in the description, download Upon the Sands, and in the comments of this video, demand your 5 free books, and remember, as rudely as possible, and I will send them to you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.